excellent. Now, what we need to do is we've got to start styling the navigation here. So the first thing we're going to do is we are going to select nav here in our code, and I wonder why there's a UL. There's something a little wonky here. All right, so this, make sure that this goes actually here. Let me cut this out because that shouldn't be there. That should be here. All right, so nav, UL, LI, perfect. All right, excellent. Okay, so now, glad I saw that. So let me go ahead and space that out so it's on its own line. All right, so I'm going to click on the nav. All right, so what I need to do is simple. I'm just going to put a color on there so we can see it, right? All right, so we are going to go back into the CSS Designer, and I'm going to let me say File, Save All. There we go. All right, CSS Designer, and I'm going to add a selector, and I'm going to get rid of the word body. I just want nav. Perfect. And then I'm going to click on properties, and I'm going to add a properties. And in this case, I'm just going to, so this gives you the full list, and then this gives you like shortcuts to these areas. So text, border, but I'm going to go to background because I just want to do background color. And I know I used white up there. There's not going to be any accounting for taste here, guys. So we'll use pink just so that you can, oh gosh, pink against that color would be, let's use a blue. Yeah, how about a pale blue? All right, I'm going to say enter so that you can just see it. All right, so there's a blue right now. And let's see if we can't start controlling more of this. Okay, so there's the nav. Now, what we need to do is we need to work with the UL. Ultimately, this is not going to be a list like this, and we got to get rid of those bullet points, okay? So how we get rid of that is we need to control the UL. Now, if you do a global UL and control this, then any UL that you have is going to have the same, whatever you put into this one, you're going to have. So what we have to do is we have to create a class, okay? So we're going to select the UL, but what we're going to do is we're going to say, we're going to add a selector, and we're going to name it. And we're going to name it with a dot, and we're going to say nav list. And we're going to apply it to that, and I'll show you that in a second. So we're going to go dot nav list, and we're going to add a property to that. It's selected, and we're going to add a property. So what we need to do is click on text, and we've got to scroll down until we say list style type right here, undefined, but we want none. Okay, so that's going to be none. List style type none. Perfect. And then we're going to select the main layout, and we're going to make sure that our margins are set to 0. So we're going to say 0. We're going to lock it. And we also want our padding to be set to 0. We'll lock it also. And we're going to go to more at the very, very bottom. And we're going to click in here, and we're going to say overflow. And this is in case you run into any plot problems, but I don't think we will. But it's a good idea. Overflow. And we're going to put hidden. And that's in case you have anything that goes with that. All right, so now we've created this. And what we need to do is we need to apply it to here. So what we have to do is we have to go up over here under the UL, and we're going to press space, and we're going to say class, and we're going to say equals, and now it shows nav list because that's what we just, and we want to select it. So excellent. So that's now applied to that. Now notice what happened is all our little bullet points have just disappeared, but they're still stacked up and down. So what we have to do now is create something for the LI, and that's going to help us get this in the right thing. But again, if we apply a global thing to the LI, if you use that again anywhere else in your website, it's going to have the same properties applied. So what we do is we have to create another class. So we'll select the LI, and let's go into the CSS designer. Well, let's say file save all first, right? Better safe than sorry. So now we've got the LI selected, but let's go ahead and click this selector. But this time, instead of nav list, we're going to keep nav list is fine, but we're going to add, it's going to be nav list item, all one word, which is fine. And we're going to click property. So nav list item is what we want. And now what we need to do is add properties. And all we're going to do is we need to float it left. All right, so float left is, nope, that's a regular setting. So we have to scroll down here and find float left, which I always seem to pass over. Clear, float. Okay, so we're going to float left. And that's it. That's all we have to do for this one. All right, so now we have to apply it. And what's really cool is if you hold shift, I've got my cursor right after the LI. If I hold shift and move all the way down, oh, it's not going to let me do it. All right, never mind. Okay, so then we're going to say class equals, and then it gives us both that we have there. And now we have to apply this. It's not letting us. Suppose it used to be that you could have a, but it's not that hard to apply this to all of these, right? So you're going to apply this to all of these. And I will tell you that Dreamweaver has come a long way since I first learned it, okay? So there's that, but it still doesn't look any different, but now we click inside and now we have everything. Now we're not done with styling yet, but that's a huge step right there that we just did. So I'm going to call it quits for this one. So this is, we've got most of the styling done, and then we'll go ahead and continue working on it. But it's starting to come together, isn't it? All right, guys, be right back.